renegade, built it from the ground up. Yeah, I'm self-made.
Good morning, everyone.
Haters wanna talk, cause I'm out here getting paid. Going nuclear when I negotiate the trade.
Hey!
And all this heat spitting nothing but
1600 Pennsylvania Avenue right here. You're getting a dose of it this morning. It's the right time.
King of the jungle, make them say my name.
Zeus.
Chain hitting hard like thunder in the rain. Bombs get the drop and I'm the last one standing. Blueprint on my mind, yeah, future I'm planning.
Let's go.
Launch codes ready, yeah, world in a panic. Trap so atomic, it's a global expansion. Drip like reactors overloading the meter. Hitting your chest, yeah, Zeus fever.
You got Zeus fever out there? Hey, Alpha No Beta over here. Let's go. We're back, ladies and gentlemen. They're going nuclear. Welcome to the show, ladies and gentlemen. It's the right time to do it. Bombs are flying all over the Middle East. I decided to share it. All right, and so, you know, this is for the folks out there that like to say, Zeus, where's the new music? Trust me.
You know what that means.
It's coming. Yeah.
About to blow it up.
W. Kabir. Nobody's safe tonight. All right. But now let's get back to what we were doing. All right. Showtime, ladies and gentlemen. And again, it says fake engagement. So my thinking is maybe it's too much tapping and sharing too fast. All right. So let's kind of throttle it back, audience. All right. Thank you. Hopefully that stopped that. Right, sticky fingers. Let's go. All right. Let's do it, ladies and gentlemen.
It's deja vu when I'm running up these racks.
Yeah, now it's starting to set in.
I'm back. It's deja vu when I'm out here flying first class.
It's like everything I gotta take out
the trash.
I'm on top of the game, ahead of the crash. You can tell that I made it. Look at my grass. You should look at it, by the way, ladies and gentlemen.
Case full of gas. I play the game so raw, I won't finish last. Sitting in my living room screaming how we made it. This is how it's supposed to happen when you with your faders.
You, all of you. Thank you, Digital.
I guess we going viral cause my Zodiac.
I got all these numbers on my spreadsheet. Hey, Benjamin Franklin is my bestie. Am I right, Evan? Right, Kabira? Right, Dan?
They don't give me props if they test me. I say it with my chest cause I'm in it.
All right, we all got to do it together. This is our favorite part. Here it goes. It's our favorite part. Let's do it together. Here it goes. Hold on.
I'll tell you what, I haven't gone into Zeus's live in a couple of days.
Yes.
Shit was radical.
Very radical.
It was horrible.
Okay.
I'm like, Zeus has gone way off the rails.
Hit it.
It's like deja vu. It's like deja vu.
It hurts every time.
It's like deja vu.
It really does.
It's like deja vu.
Oh, it hurts every single time. Once again, we're back, ladies and gentlemen. It doesn't really hurt me. All it does is make me stronger. Good morning, everyone. Once again, we are back in the Thunderdome. I am your host. I'm your pilot, and you know exactly why we are here. Good morning, Little Hawk brother. Nice to see you. Once again, we are gathered, ladies and gentlemen, to reveal the mysteries of what keeps these folks worshiping Donald J. Trump. I was going to say Crump, but yeah, Donald J. Trump, and they remain in the cult. And despite all the information we've shared with these people, they continue to bury their heads in Donald Trump's dirty, disgusting diaper in the hopes that maybe one day one of his lies will come true. And so with that being said, before we go any further, let me take care of some very important housekeeping items. For those of you who do not know who I am, I go by the name Zeus, or some like to say Triple H. And why do they call me Triple H, ladies and gentlemen? Well, it's quite simple. The first H is because I'm honest, the most honest person on social media, hands down. Okay. The second H is because I am humble. Listen, if I get it wrong, I'll be the first to apologize. But here's the thing. Just because your feelings are hurt, it doesn't mean that I owe you an apology. Most likely it means you need to sit your special behind down and listen to this special broadcast. All right. Because you just might learn something. All right. And then the last and the final H, ladies and gentlemen, is because I am and will always remain what? You've guessed it. The most handsome. Now, many of you know exactly why we are gathered here today, all right? Because we honestly are doing the real work. Val, thank you so much for pointing it out. W. Val yesterday, he said the work we're doing on this show, it's actually working. And we're starting to see people really who listen to the show, and maybe you're listening to it in the shadows, but you're starting to realize that you do have enough strength to resist the cult and resist the Kool-Aid. Even though they try to put as much sweetener into the Kool-Aid as they can, you now understand you don't have to drink it, because you know what will happen the moment you drink that Kool-Aid. Your life will be ruined. W. Zeus. Your life will be ruined if you drink the orange Kool-Aid and you smell that dirty diaper. Your life, I promise you, I guarantee you, it will be ruined. And if your pastors and your preachers and your teachers aren't teaching you that, then you need to fire them immediately. Now, before I go any further, do we have anybody out there still worshiping Donald Trump? All right. And especially if you're a Christian. And by the way, I am looking definitely for Brother Dame. I'm going to need you front and center this morning. I know you're out there lurking, but I did visit you yesterday, and I went onto your platform like I always do and totally annihilated you. Why don't you bring you and Larry together? Yeah, because at this point, I just need you both to just sit in my box and let me minister to your souls, because obviously you don't know how far out you are. I went into their live yesterday, and I'd hate to do this to Dame, because I could tell deep down inside, there's a decent human being in him. And maybe that's kind of why I go over there. And he definitely respects the truth, because he lets me go in there and just do a total number. I went in there yesterday and I asked him very plainly, has Donald Trump signed any executive orders in terms of no tax on tips? Right? I asked him. And you could just see them getting really frustrated with me. Their faces, if they could turn red, they would have turned red. Larry didn't have his camera on. Did he sign any executive orders? No tax on overtime. No, Zeus. No, he didn't. But Kamala Harris, I don't care about Kamala Harris. Did he sign any executive orders to cap credit card interest at 10%? Oh, my. Zeus, come on now. Zeus, stop looking at your computer, Zeus. Dame and Larry, here's the thing. I don't need a computer to remember everything Donald Trump promised. What I need is the issue. I need the gas prices to come all the way down. Like, the egg prices. He said the egg prices went down 400%. That means, like my friend Attacking said, the eggs should be free. When I go to the store, guess what, ladies and gentlemen? They're still charging me for eggs. So I want Dame and I want Larry to please come on into this live this morning and just give me about 5 minutes to say what I need to say. And I'll make sure my computer is plugged in. Actually, it won't even need to be plugged in. All right. So please send them over this way. And then Christina, I know Christina, she's in Dame's live yesterday, and Mary. I want all of them to just come on in here this morning, because I'm about to really minister to their souls. Angel. Angel, oh my God, Angel, this must be your first time coming across Big Zeus. Angel, I sent you a quick guest request. If you don't mind, Angel, please come on up here real quickly. I know you're not doing anything, Angel. I know you're not doing anything, because guess what, Angel? I've talked to every single MAGA demon before you, Angel, and it's all the same thing. You're not happily married. No, you're not. You're on TikTok trying to get a date with Big Zeus, W. Zeus. And I'm not interested. Angel, I'm not interested in you. No, because I'm here to do something, all right? I don't got time to be out here trying to pretend like, you're the hottest thing this summer. You're not the hottest thing this summer, because your mind, there's something wrong with your mind, Angel. And so, Angel, what I'll do is this. You're not an angel. As a matter of fact, you should change your name to a demon. And Angel, and I'll just do this. You'll get it. Angel, I got to send you straight to hell this morning. Ladies and gentlemen, let's warm up the lake of fire for Angel. Angel, you worship Donald Trump. You tell us all you love Jesus, but there's a Bible chapter and verse. You can go look it up. Yeah, their lips say that they love me. Am I right, Takesha? But guess what? Their hearts are far from me. Do me a favor, Angel, and go straight to hell. Sorry. Bye, Angel. You're not an angel. Not around me.
Silence! You matter.
W. Rick. Now, I forgot to give Angel a heads up. You know what? And I'm Triple H, and I do owe Angel an apology. Angel, I do apologize, because before I did that, what I should have did was give you a heads up on how I run my broadcast. Listen, Angel, if you do not want Big Zeus, and this is not just for Angel, but anybody out there that's worshiping Donald Trump, if you do not want me to ruin your breakfast, lunch, and dinner, you don't want me to hurt your feelings and make you cry, do me a huge favor and leave my show right now, because like I said, it's going to get very, very uncomfortable for you, Angel. It really will be. But get this, you don't got to take my word for it. Listen to your leader.
If you're not happy here, then you can leave. As far as I'm concerned, if you hate our country, If you're not happy here, you can leave. If you're not happy in the U.S., if you're complaining all the time, very simply, you can leave. You can leave right now. Come back if you want. Don't come back. It's okay too. But if you're not happy, you can leave.
All right. Ooh. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, the doors to the Thunderdome have officially closed, and I take no responsibility for what goes on in here. I do reserve the right to do what I want to do because obviously I'm the host and I can do whatever. I can drop you, I can mute you, I can block you, I can do anything. But you just got to kind of deal with it, all right? Now, let's move on. The Revenant, you said Trump was right again. Could you please come up? I sent you a guest request. It won't take me long to get straight to this point, Revenant. You won't come up here, though. Let me send him a guest request. I sent you a guest request, and just come up here and in one quick, give me 2 sentences about why you believe Trump is right, and then what you can do is just drop back into the comment section, because that's probably the best way I think Trump supporters should basically come up here. They should just say what they need to say and then let us do the rest. Right, ladies and gentlemen? W Zeus. So Revenant, you don't want to come up here, and I know why, and it's because what I was going to do, and this is for anybody out there that thinks Trump is right. First things first, I'm going to ask you, are you serving this country, yes or no? And if you are, I want to know what branch you're in, right? And then I want to get you to go ahead and commit to going to go fight one of these forever wars, right? And if you're not, then what I'm going to do is ask that you allow us to help you get enlisted. And there's a 1-800 number up here. And what I'll do is I'll just say, you know what, this guy, this lady, they're crazy for Trump. Could we get them into the next, the next battlefield as soon as possible? Because they really do believe Donald Trump is the smartest thing in this country since button-up shoes, if you know what I mean. W. Zeus, they don't know what I'm talking about because I'm cooking them. They don't know what I'm talking about. So here's the thing, ladies and gentlemen. Following up on what I went into Dame's live yesterday, and this was the deal. I said, Dame, and he's a MAGA demon. He's a MAGA demon on TikTok. So you believe that this strike the United States did was a success? Yes, Zeus. Okay. Do you think it's a success? I told him no. Why don't you think it is a success? Because they waste millions and millions of dollars on a strike that they didn't need to do. They got us now distracted with the situation in Iran, and we still have the conflict going on in Russia. You know, China might want to take Taiwan. I'm trying to really explain it to them in kindergarten terms. And so they say, oh, so you don't think it was a success? Because Pete Kegsbreath, the secrets didn't leak. This is why they think it is a success, because Pete Kegsbreath didn't leak any of this information. And I was like, so folks doing their job is about. Hold on. So hold on. So folks doing their job is no. When you go above and beyond, that's success. So I don't give Pete Kegsbreath any credit. But then I also called out how much it cost, and they said it's around anywhere between 600 million to 800 million. And so, Zeus, where are you getting your numbers? And I just told them it doesn't even matter, because every time we give MAGA facts, what do? They try to deny and they question the source. And so they got hung up on me telling them the fuel cost over hundreds of millions of dollars, and they really tried to make it seem like I was making all of this up. And then it got to the point where I said, so listen up, y'all think I'm a liar? Do me a favor. How about this? If Donald Trump's ceasefire is broken tomorrow, I'm going to need you to come up here and apologize, because, you all agree that there will now be peace forever in the Middle East. This is what MAGA was believing yesterday. Yes. And they read all of Donald Trump's tweets to me. Zeus, look at what Trump said. Look at what Trump said. Look at what Trump said. And I said, the man has lied over 30,000 times in his first administration. The same guy, hold on. This is the same guy who told his followers to hit the body with light and inject with disinfectant. This is the same guy holding super spreader. Herman Cain. Do you all remember Herman Cain? Went to Donald Trump's, his dear leaders, rallied in the thick of the C-19 and caught the V and left Earth, crossed over peacefully into the afterlife. Y'all still believe this man? Right? This is what, and I had them on the ropes terrified. These folks were terrified yesterday. And I said, no, I don't believe anything Donald Trump says. There's been wars happening since man was on the planet. And I don't believe Donald Trump is the chosen one that when he says it, his word goes. No, Zeus, it's going to be peace. And when you'll see tomorrow, Zeus, there will be peace. Hey, DJ, is DJ here? Because there's something I want to talk to DJ about, too. I was arguing with DJ in my comments at about a video, and he said, Zeus, it's not a war. DJ, I need you to come up here and apologize. And let's not even play any games. You know why? Because as quick as DJ posted on my video, it's not a war, Zeus. Guess what his dear leader did? And DJ doesn't want to come up here because he knows his goose will be cooked. He went on Trump yesterday. You could go look this up. He referred to it as a 12-day war. Ladies and gentlemen, this is what he did. He referred to it as a 12-day war. So I said, DJ, this is why I do the wonderful work that I do. It's the hypocrisy of MAGA that I continue to expose. And so, ladies and gentlemen, what we're going to do is warm up the lake of fire real quickly. Because DJ lied to himself, and he still believes it. Dame lies to himself. All of these Trump supporters continue to lie to themselves. W. Kabira. They lied to themselves as if everyday Americans can't see the truth. So this is for the first round of Lake of Fire. For all of you Trump supporters who continue to come around Big Zeus and tell me that I'm lying. Tell me that I'm using a computer. All I'm doing is repeating the things that your dear leader promised you. I'm not lying. You are. Do me a huge favor and go straight to hell. It's so easy to do it. It's so easy to do it. But before we go any further, I want to make sure we address this was Christmas. This was Christmas. I woke up this morning and you all saw it, but we didn't watch it together. But we're going to listen to Donald Trump today. Well, he did it yesterday, but we got the audio and we're going to go through this. This is somebody who realizes they are not getting the Nobel Peace Prize. Is that what happened? So remember, he brokered peace in the Middle East. And this is what he said, ladies and gentlemen. All right, let's go ahead and get through this. So this is somebody who realizes they're not getting the Nobel Peace Prize at all. And that, guess what? The Democrats were right. W. Zeus. And I want to get this on the record. He goes,
but reports coming from the region suggest that the sides accuse each other for violating the ceasefire. So
I think they both violated it. I'm not sure they did it intentionally. They couldn't rein people back. I don't like the fact that Israel went out this morning at all, and I'm going to see if I can stop it.
So, hey, Dame. Hey, Larry, guess what? Your dear leader, this is the video of him. He's acknowledged that both Israel and Iran violated that ceasefire y'all was bragging about. W. Zeus.
As soon as I get away from you, I'm going to see if I can stop it, okay?
Hold on.
I think it's been completely demolished. I think the reason we're here is because those B-2 pilots did an unbelievable job. And, the fake news, like CNN in particular, they're trying to say, well, I agree that it was destroyed, but maybe not that destroyed. You know what they're doing? They're really hurting great pilots and put their lives in the line. CNN is scum, and so is MSDNC. They're all. And frankly, the networks aren't much better. It's all fake news, but they should not have done that. Those pilots hit their targets. Those targets were obliterated. And the pilots should be given credit. They're not after the pilots, they're after me. They want to try and demean.
You don't believe that Iran can rebuild its nuclear program?
No, Iran will never rebuild its nuclear. From there? Absolutely not. That place is under rock. That place is demolished. The B-2 pilots did their job. They did it better than anybody could even imagine. They hit late in the evening. It was dark with no moon. And they hit that target with every one of those things. And that place is gone. But when I see CNN all night long, they're trying to say, well, maybe it wasn't really as demolished as we thought. It was.
So I gotta stop him right there because it's the mess. No tie. Where's the tie at? Let me get it. There's no tie. He still has his ears, and I thought those were already done with because of what happened in Butler. And it's just all of his lies. They're surrounding him, and he's totally frustrated because he's not arguing with CNN. He's arguing with himself. He's arguing with his incompetence, MAGA. That's what this frustration is all about. He's starting to understand that perhaps he's not as powerful as all of you like to project him as. Maybe he's not really Rambo. You know, this is what's happening to him. He's literally unraveling in front of the White House. And this doesn't make America look strong. This makes America look very, very weak, if you ask me.
Listen, you take a look at the pinpricks and you see that place is gone. And I will say, I think CNN ought to apologize to the pilots of the B-2s. I think that MSDNC ought to apologize.
Same broken record.
I think these guys really, these networks and these cable networks are real losers. You really are. You're real losers.
Really?
You're gutless losers. I say that to CNN because I watch it. I have no choice. I got to watch that garbage. It's all garbage. It's all fake news. But I think CNN is a gutless group of people, and the people that run it, nobody even knows it's been sold so many times. But the people that run it ought to be ashamed. MSDNC, a guy named Brian Roberts, he heads it. He's a disgrace. He's a weak, pathetic disgrace.
Here we go. Now he's walking, towards Marine One at this point. He's just, in his world, cooked CNN, but the reporters, they're not going to let it go. Hey, Donald, the ceasefire, it's been broken, the one that you were bragging about. How do you feel about that, right?
Yeah, I do. They violated it, but Israel violated it too.
Oh.
Israel, as soon as we made the deal, they came out and they dropped a load of bombs, the likes of which I'd never seen before.
Oh.
The biggest load that we've seen. I'm not happy with Israel. When I say, okay, now you have 12 hours, you don't go out in the first hour and just drop everything you have on them. So I'm not happy with them. I'm not happy with Iran either. But I'm really unhappy if Israel's going out this morning because the one rocket that didn't land, that was shot, perhaps by mistake, that didn't land. I'm not happy about that. You know what? We basically have two countries that have been fighting so long and so hard that they don't know what the fuck they're doing. Do you understand that?
Ooh, let me get that again. Cause see, and hold on, I gotta do this. Keep it clean. We gotta keep it clean. But let me make sure I heard this correctly. And this is for you so-called Christians, because this is a lot to unpack, ladies and gentlemen. It really is.
You know what? We basically have two countries that have been fighting so long and so hard that they don't know what the fuck they're doing. Do you understand that?
What? And then he walks off. And this right here, this is it, MAGA. This is it. The jig's up right here. He broke character. He broke character. Because one thing's clear. How does Donald Trump know what the F he's doing? Right? Israel's been doing this for centuries, thousands of years. They know what they're doing. This guy gets in here, barely 6 months in, and he really thinks he knows what the F he's doing, only to find out he has no clue what the F he's doing. And so this is a good example of projection, MAGA. Yeah, and I agree. This is impeachment season. Impeachment season is on the horizon for Donald Trump. I honestly think Donald Trump is doing all of this because he knows he does not have the support he needs to continue on. If you look at the poll numbers, MAGA, this was probably the most unpopular thing he could have done. He did it because once again, he tried to one up Barack Obama and Joe Biden. You know, that's how his mind worked. And now they came into him, and this is what they say. They came into him, hey, Mr. President, if you do this, you're going to get impeached. Oh, you did this. It's not looking good. You're about to get impeached. Well, what can I do to save my career? You have to negotiate peace immediately so you can get a Nobel Peace Prize. And then they'll say this was all worth it. It was genius. And so we all see the angle he's trying to play. He's trying to get a Nobel Peace Prize. And he thought all he would have to do is what Israel said do, and then everything would stop. But he found out the hard way that you can't, once you start something like this, you can't take it back. And so this is why I say Dame, DJ, and all of them, they owe me an apology, because it is a war. Trump acknowledged that it was a war. And guess what? There's no peace. He's not one person's going to bring peace to the Middle East. You all should have known that. And if you didn't, where have you been? So what I'll do is this, ladies and gentlemen, let's warm up the lake of fire. Hey, John, please, John, do me a favor. For all of you Trump supporters, and he's on his way to NATO, and he said, hopefully it's calmer in NATO. No, everywhere Donald Trump goes, there's always going to be conflict. All right? But listen up. To all of you Trump supporters that want to sit back and act like Joe Biden was the worst president of our lifetime, while at the same time failing to acknowledge that your dear leader is wasting millions and billions of dollars on forever wars. He's not helping the American people. He hasn't delivered on any of his promises, and now he's dropping the F-bomb because he failed to negotiate peace in the Middle East. Do me a huge favor and go straight to hell. W Zeus. So now that that's out of the way, and you know JD Vance and all of these people, and you should see Marjorie Trader Green. She's over on X right now having a serious meltdown. This situation that Trump has gotten the United States into, MAGA, it's not over. It's not over. And you know, you start thinking, well, what could we have done with those monies? You know, they say, what could we have done with that money, right? And so I was thinking about it, and this is something I wanted to get on the record. And this is a W for the Democrats, all right? You believe it or not, this is something the Biden administration helped happen, all right? And so this is why when they say, Zeus, is there anything Trump could do to actually make you feel better? I say, if he's not doing some of this stuff, then the best thing he could do is honestly just resign, all right? Because I want to show you what a real president would do, all right? And this is in the beautiful state of California with Governor, guess who? Gavin Newsom.
Welcome to
Hold on. We got to pay the bills. Hold on. This is to me, this is an example of true leadership. This is something that I would honestly say, if you are a Christian, this is something you have to actually support. And this is why you should honestly, support the Democrats.
Well, summer's here, and that means kids across the state are on vacation, and there is a state program making sure that some of those kids don't go hungry as they wait for fall. Joining us this morning to talk about Sunbucks is Kathy Saley. Good morning, Kathy.
Good morning, Deirdre.
So you have a lot of families who are eligible in this.
Hold on.
This is the second year of the program. How would the families know if they're eligible and then also how to take advantage of this?
Well, the good news is about 5 million children have already been determined eligible by the California Department of Education, and Sunbucks cards are in the mail and on the way.
Wow.
Families whose last names begin with A through L will get them this month, and M through Z families will get them next month. They'll get a Sunbucks card in the mail with $120 of benefits that can be used at a grocery store, farmer's market, or even online, Amazon and Walmart.
Wow. So what we'll do is W Democrats, right? And that's what the good book teaches us all to do. Look out for the children, right? And so when you say, well, the Democrats are Democrats, how could you say this is a bad thing, MAGA? See, what we're trying to do is help everyday Americans. We're not trying to go over there and meddle into other countries' affairs and drop bees and act like we're bringing peace. Okay, this isn't any news, Zeus. Sarah, please, Sarah, come on up here, Sarah. I know you won't do it. Now, Sarah, why did it trigger you that I'm actually showing you that our government is helping to feed the kids? Wow, Sarah came up. Wow, I'm actually impressed, Sarah. Wow, I've been doing this for a while.
What I came on to say is because you just said about the feeding program that supposedly Governor Newsom did. That's nothing new.
Yeah, it is.
That was around last year. No, it's not. It was around last year. What they did is they gave EBT cards for all of the kids for like when school is out for summer feeding.
Well, when did it
Everybody
start?
got
It started in 2022. I get that. All right,
So
Sarah.
like I said, it wasn't anything new though.
Sarah, but it's another round of another round of funding going out this year, Sarah. That's why it's new.
But it's nothing
And
new,
it's
Ed.
not, and it's not, it's nothing, and it's nothing the Trump
Democrats didn't do
administration,
that.
Sarah. It's
I
nothing
didn't
that.
say it was the Trump administration.
Okay,
I'm
but
just saying it wasn't anything
Oh,
new.
okay. Well, but you would agree it's a good program,
Oh, I think it's a great program.
and you agree that Joe Biden was behind it.
Well, I don't know about that.
Oh, well, that's why you got to do your research, Sarah, because he was. And my point that I brought this up is it's the difference between the two presidents, right? One is actually trying to help the children, and the other one is actually
No.
taking money from the children and dropping bees on the.
One is not allowing other people to take advantage of these programs because there's so many people that take advantage of it that keep others from receiving it. Like I remember 2 years ago trying to apply for government aid and I was turned down because I made too much money.
Well, why were you
So
making too
I
much
worked
money?
out.
Why were you making too much money,
Because
Sarah?
I work a job.
So you were working and trying to get
But I
a
still-
welfare out of the government. So you were trying to be on a Democrat
welfare.
program.
No. There's a difference between welfare. You got cash
Well, no.
assistance. You got food stamps. You have Medicaid. I have my own insurance. I don't collect cash assistance.
But what were you trying to get funding for when you were applying and you were denied? What were you trying? So you already had a job,
I sure did.
and then you
But I
wanted some
still
government
pay
assistance.
taxes. I pay taxes.
So
I pay more.
So let me ask a question.
I pay car insurance. I pay taxables. I pay other things. So therefore, I just didn't have quite enough, but I still went without and made do.
So you didn't
Because I
have
just
okay.
qualified.
So you didn't have enough, and you decided
I
to.
did.
Okay. So then why did you apply, Sarah?
Because I didn't have enough. But
Okay,
I
so-
still made do with what I didn't have. Is what I'm trying
But
to say.
are you at least? But Sarah, and I gotta apologize to the audience. I'm so sorry, but I'm trying to help Sarah see something, ladies and gentlemen.
You can't make me see something just
I'm
that
try-
I don't. Do you not realize that I scroll and I see your stuff that you say all the time, and it's usually the same thing. It's always negative.
But have I been
about-
wrong about anything, Sarah?
All the time, Zeus. You're wrong.
Name
all
something
the
that
time.
I've been wrong about.
All the time you're wrong. And
Name
and
something
instead of-
I've been wrong about, Sarah. Sarah, I'm trying to listen to you.
I'm just curious. Why don't you ever talk about the good stuff Democrats do? It's always something about Trump every day.
But Sarah,
And
Sarah,
you
so
know why?
Sarah,
because you need
Sarah.
people like me to come on here so you can debate and talk with. So your platform,
Sarah.
you don't have
Sarah,
anything.
Sarah, you want me to tell you some of the good things Democrats do? I just
No,
showed
I
you
don't,
the
because I don't
Sunbucks.
think they do
I just
anything.
told you about Sunbucks, didn't I? So you
You're
caught
talking
yourself.
about
You
a
caught yourself,
program. That's all
Sarah.
you've been
Sarah.
around.
Sarah, you caught yourself right in a bit of a predicament because you were trying to call me out on something that you don't have proof I'm doing. I just showed you something that Democrats are doing. That's why you came up here, Sarah. So what else is the issue? I'm at
Democrats are doing that. It was
Sarah.
already been around. It's nothing new. You're trying
Sarah,
to
I'm-
make it like it's something new, Zeus, and
Okay.
it's nothing new.
But Sarah, wouldn't you say I'm pretty good at listening?
Well, you might listen, but that doesn't mean you take in anything. You still say whatever you want to do. That doesn't mean you're listening.
Okay, so that's why I was asking you if you really do believe that, could you provide all of us here of an example of something that I've said that has been wrong?
Just in today, I just hopped on today.
I understand that, but could you give us all an example of something that I said was wrong? Because honestly, Sarah, here's where I'm at. I'm trying to make room for people like you to come out of this situation
That will never happen. That just won't ever happen. We can just agree to disagree. That's all I came on to say is when you just brought up about that with thinking.
But that's what I'm saying, Sarah. So who's really Sarah? So who's really not listening? Who's really not listening?
And you
Sarah-
think the Democrats are something good while
Sarah.
they watch them? Look at the protests.
Sarah,
that
who's
go
really
on.
not listening, Sarah? Because if
I
you want to
won't
bring up
listen.
California burning, then you would also have to
Oh my
acknowledge.
God, Bass is wanting people to come help clean it up now. Why should people of California clean up the mess that they created?
Okay, so Sarah, what if I were to tell you Gavin Newsom is on the internet right now complaining that Trump removed these National Guards that are supposed to be helping, out with the forest work that would help keep these fires down? Trump took that away. And what if I were to share with you, Trump?
Didn't he want him out?
Huh?
Didn't he want him out? Didn't he not want them
No,
there
they
to
were
be
supposed.
pinned because
No, they shouldn't be
made
out there.
everybody
They shouldn't have been. They were taking off forest duty and they were sent to L.A. And Gavin is pointing out that put lives of many Californians at risk. Just like, when Trump talks about the smelt, that fish that he said the smelt is the reason they won't open up the faucet. Well, that water that Trump released was water we were supposed to have saved up for when wildfires happened. So, Sarah, what I want you to do is understand, I heard what you said, but you're not using all of the information out there. You're just repeating the things Trump says. And that goes back, Sarah, honestly, Sarah, that goes back. Sarah, that goes back.
No. Don't say something that I listen to what Trump say. I just follow a lot of people. I follow a lot of conservatives. And that's where I get a lot of my stuff from. It has nothing to do with Trump. Okay. I don't like a lot of the things Trump does or that Trump says.
Now let's talk about those. Let's talk about those. Let's talk about those things if you don't mind. What are some of the things you don't like Trump does?
I do mind.
So you don't want to talk about the things.
I just wanted to hop on to say about when you said about that program. That's
Sarah.
nothing new.
Okay, so Sarah.
I'm not going to give Democrats credit for that.
Okay, well, it is a program that Joe Biden backed, right? You should go look it up. It's funded by, guess what department? The U.S. Department of Agriculture. And it's $120 for hungry kids. Sarah, it's $120 for hungry kids.
I guarantee you half of those people that are receiving that are
Sarah's not listening. Now listen, Sarah, Sarah, I got to talk to the chat real quick because you've done enough. All right.
You have a good day.
Yeah. All right. And I'll take care of that. So, ladies and gentlemen, yeah, you too. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to get straight to judgment with Sarah. And as you all can see, Sarah got onto my platform. And I'm showing you all that I have the ability to actually talk to people where they're at, right? And as you can see, everything Sarah tried to say she had a problem with, she was flat out lying, all right? Zeus, show me something the Democrats have done. I just showed you, and that's why you're in the box. Oh, she laughed to herself. Sarah, let me ask you a question. What are your issues with your dear leader? Oh, I don't want to talk about that, Zeus. Okay, so you understand this is what abuse looks like. I got it. You don't want to share it, but we know what it is. Sarah, here's the thing. The reason that I have to talk about Donald Trump as much as I do isn't because I want to. It's because of you, folks like you. You all would continue to move the goalposts if I didn't make it a point to deliberately bring up some of these same topics on a regular basis. All right. And it's so many of them. You all think I'm reading it off of a computer. You all think I'm working for the DNC. You all think that there is a script about it, but I'm not the only one that knows how to do this. Anybody that's competent and has common sense can do it. Sarah, here's the thing. You're disappointed in Donald Trump because he hasn't delivered on any of those promises. And there was also something you said, honestly, Sarah, it was very, very concerning. And I got to do this. You actually went and applied for some Democrat program because you said you didn't have enough. You did that, Sarah, and you didn't think I caught it. And that just shows to me how unhinged and how disconnected from reality folks like you are in this country. The programs you go after, you can't get it, so you're going to make it a situation where nobody can get it. Selfish, self-centered, and I'm pretty sure you think you're very Christ-like. You're not Christ-like. Ladies and gentlemen, regretfully, I must do this. Sarah, next time you come up in my box, please try not to have any issues with what I'm saying unless you actually got the evidence that I'm lying. You didn't tell me what I was lying about, which to me means your feelings were hurt, and unfortunately, I don't apologize for that. Ladies and gentlemen, let's send Sarah where she came from, straight to hell.
Silence, you matter, demon.
That's a W, Zeus. And Sarah, and before you go, Sarah, I just want to remind you what your dear leader says about you. All right, and this is what he thinks about all of his voters.
You're either stupid or you hate the country.
And a lot of and truthfully, a lot of us we've came to the conclusion that it's both. Right, Rick? Yeah. A lot of us, we've came to the conclusion that it's both. I will never, ever, ever stop talking about January 6th. I will never, ever stop talking about how your dear leader failed the United States of America in his first term by getting rid of Barack Obama's pandemic response playbook. I will never, ever ignore the reality that his first term, the economy was good because of Barack Hussein Obama. I'll never forget these things, MAGA. I will never, ever forget he lied to you all about the results of the 2020 election and lured a bunch of you to the United States Capitol at a rally he was hosting called Stop the Steal, in which some of you brought things like gallows to unalive the vice president, right? And you all beat up law enforcement officers on that day, January 6th. I will never, ever forget those things. All right, MAGA? So we can no longer even make that a situation. It could be, listen, it's biblical at this point. January 6th is biblical. It's going to be in the history books forever. The day that the sitting president. So please, let's stick to policy. Let's just do that, Sarah. And I'll never forget the things that he's done, right? We know he's been convicted. We know he's been impeached twice. We know he's been found liable. So do not get into my box and try to make yourselves into victims, please. What I want is some simple honesty out of you folks. Is that too much to ask, ladies and gentlemen? Is that too much to ask? Let me go ahead, ladies and gentlemen, and bring up another panelist. Do we have any more Trump supporters that want to come up here and confess their sins? Please. Any more Trump supporters that want to come up here and confess their sins? All right. It's not a difficult thing to do. It's really not, but you got to be willing. And I'm still waiting for DJ, because DJ, I know DJ owes me an apology, and DJ knows he owes me an apology. And it doesn't take long, DJ, to muster up the strength to get up here and say, Zeus, I'm so sorry for lying in your comment section saying that it wasn't a war, only to find out from your dear leader that it was a 12-day war. All right. All right, I'll confess that your lips are ear to ear. Oh, real Christian. Come on up here, real Christian. Come on up here. All right, because you remind me of this one knucklehead on TikTok, the Russian bear, and she talks like that. That might be the Russian bear. You know what? I might need to do that. I might need to do that. Let's go ahead. Alfalfa. Come on up here, Alfalfa. You asked me, did I Botox? What does that mean? Come on up here, Alfalfa. Let's go ahead and get it out of the way. It doesn't take long to deal with this. If other than that, Alfalfa, I'll just tell the mods to go ahead and put you in a nice little straight jacket. It doesn't take long. Okay. Yeah. Oh, they said that's racism. Well, you know what? I'm not. Listen, here's the thing. I'm numb to it now. I'm never surprised at this moment about how low. These are some low lies, right? I'm never surprised at how low these folks will go to defend their dear leader. They will commit crimes, right? We've all seen it. MAGA will commit crime for their dear leader, and it's the most disgusting thing ever. And this is why we say it's a cult. All right, put a 1 in the chat. Put a 1 in the chat. Racism equals jealousy. W Tiffany for the people. Yeah. Where are you Trump supporters at? Please place a 1 in the chat. I'll bring you right on up here. It won't take long. All right. And I do this, and I make it a point to talk to you Trump supporters because I understand what cognitive dissonance looks like. All right. And you don't really want to acknowledge that's what it is. Lisa, you're a Trump supporter. Okay. Arlene, come on up here. Come on up here. It's just you and me right now. I get it. Especially because there's some heavy hitters behind me that it's intimidating to come up here and actually explain what you're thinking, explain why you're saying what you're saying. But all you got to do is come on up here and let me get to know who you are, and then we'll figure out how you got inside of that cult. All right. So I'm inviting these people up, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm doing this deliberately. They are afraid. They're afraid to face reality because what I represent to MAGA is reality. What I represent to MAGA is reality. Kyle, I don't know what the heck you mean, my team, but if you don't want to come up here and discuss it, Kyle, then you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to ask my mods to place you in a straitjacket. See, MAGA, here's the thing, and I didn't want to do it, but one of the things that I understand is this, MAGA. Remember how your dear leader made you feel, right? You all thought you were winning, right? This is, ladies and gentlemen, this is what Kyle, you can hear him in the background.
You're going to be so proud of your country if I get in.
Remember
You're
this
going to be so proud of your president, and I don't care about that. But you are going to be so proud of your country because we're going to turn it around and we're going to start winning again. We're going to win so much. We're going to win at every level. We're going to win economically. We're going to win with the economy. We're going to win with military. We're going to win with healthcare and for our veterans. We're going to win with every single facet. We're going to win so much, you may even get tired of winning. And you'll say, please, please, it's too much winning. We can't take it anymore. Mr. President, it's too much. And I'll say, no, it isn't. We have to keep winning. We have to win more. We're going to win more. We're going to win so much.
Kyle, do you feel like you're winning, Kyle? Kyle doesn't feel like he's winning. Not at all. You all know that the jig is up and the base is shrinking. Marjorie Taylor Greene, she's defecting from MAGA right now. You know that? So the question is, what are you all winning right now? Nothing. Yeah. So another W for Big Zeus. Another W for Big Zeus, because obviously we've seen the results of this, and we know that MAGA has nothing. Oh, there he goes right here. Let me go ahead and deal with this. I knew DJ would understand. DJ.
Hey man, what's up?
Yeah. So remember that video I posted over this weekend, and you said that it's not a war.
Yes.
And do you want to apologize today for getting that wrong? Because I responded to you, but I feel like, you know what? It's a real person, a real adult would get up here and actually apologize.
Why would I apologize, Zeus?
Because it is a war. Trump called it a war.
It was a war between Iran and Israel.
And him.
No.
He was involved, DJ. So
you
you're
know
not.
why it wasn't a war, Zeus?
Huh?
You want to know why it wasn't a war?
Do I want to know why it wasn't a war based on your logic?
No,
I mean, DJ.
Based on the truth. No, based on the truth.
DJ, did Trump call it a 12-day war? Let's do it like that. Did Trump call it a 12-day war?
He said it was a 12-day war between...
W Zeus. So there's nothing else to call it, DJ.
We're going to claim some kind of victory over that semantics.
No,
Hey,
no.
When was the last time that the United States declared war?
DJ, here's the
When was
thing.
the last time the United States
Are you
declared
talking
war?
about the Iraq war?
No, sir.
Okay, then what?
When was the last time that the United States Congress declared war?
DJ,
It's a simple
DJ,
question. You know the answer.
DJ, what is your point?
I'm asking you a question. That is my point.
No,
Do you
no,
know
no.
when the last time the United States Congress declared a war?
DJ, tell us all real quickly, because I don't got all morning.
World War II.
Oh, DJ. Okay, so you don't believe we've been at war ever since then? That's your logic.
No, I'm not saying that.
Okay, so
That's when it was the last time.
DJ, I've lived through a lot of wars in this since I've been born. All right, whether it's the Gulf War, the Iraq War, the Afghanistan War, they put war at the end of it to make it real clear what it is, DJ. And your mind wants to go all the way back to World War II. What is the point, DJ?
The point is that your whole video that I commented on that you're now talking about was made.
Your argument, DJ, was.
Let me finish, Zeus. I'm almost finished. I'll land this very quickly.
And then are you going to get to the apology?
Your video that I responded to said that Trump didn't have the right to do what he did. You said that he needed to go to Congress to get the right to do that. Is that
Well,
what,
something along those lines, yes. He should have definitely consulted and went to Congress before he went and did that thing, that strike you all like to call it.
Do you pay attention to the news, Zeus?
Huh?
Do you pay attention to the news?
I do sometimes. Why?
Okay. Because they definitely attempted to contact members of Congress before the contact. Before
Did they? From what I understand, DJ, they left the Democrats out.
Oh, that's not true either.
Oh, okay. Another lie you got. Another lie you got. So, DJ, the reason that I brought you up here, because
to just dispute everything that I say and call it a lie.
well, the thing is, you said it wasn't a war, but Trump called it a war. It's night and day as far as I'm concerned, DJ. And this is where you want to start saying, well, when did the last time Congress declare war? What color was Obama's suit when he went and did this? I mean, DJ, I don't care about any of that. I want you to be honest, and I want you to be a man of your word. Donald Trump called it a war. Donald Trump called it a war. Yes or no?
He referenced a war between
Yes.
Iran and Israel.
He called it, and he called it a 12-day war. This is simple.
Right. He did say that, Bruce.
Thank you. So it is a war.
It is not a war that the United States was in.
What?
I'm sorry. Did you not hear me? I'll be happy to repeat that for you. The United States was not in a war with Iran.
So the 12-day war, did the United States drop any munitions on any country?
Dropped some big emissions. Yes, sir.
Okay, so then that by virtue means the United States was involved, DJ. And again, I'm not gonna. Instead of just DJ, listen, DJ, I'm gonna break it down to you. I'm gonna break it down to you in this way, DJ.
If you want to split hairs, I'll be happy to split hairs with you. But the whole thing started because you said he didn't have the right to do that.
No, he still doesn't have the right. He does not have the right. The president of the United States does not have the right to declare war. That's true.
I agree with you 100%.
Okay, so that being said, that's settled business. Now I need you to confirm that your dear leader did drop some munitions in the 12-day war. He dropped munitions, correct?
Okay, yeah, I'll admit that.
Okay, sure. Which means the United States was involved in a war.
Okay, if you want to go there, to Zeus, we'll go with that.
Thank you, DJ. So I think you owe the people, you owe everyone an apology, DJ.
You know what, Zeus? I apologize.
Thank you, W. Zeus. Thank you. Because DJ, we can't have a country where people are believing different sets of facts like this.
Okay. No, you're talking about semantics is what you're talking about.
No, we're talking about war, DJ. War. Okay. Right. Let's drop the semantic stuff. Let me just ask you, if what I'm saying in your mind isn't a war, what do you consider a war? Because even if we say, oh, well, Congress didn't declare a war, well, you still would have to acknowledge that the war in Iraq was called the Iraq War. It was an Afghanistan war. You do understand that, right? So how do you define war in your world?
Okay. First of all, we're getting on semantics that doesn't matter. We're talking about whether it's the word war.
You don't think the lives of men and women in uniform?
My original comment on your video was that you said that Donald Trump did not have the right to do what he did.
To start a war.
And you will not admit that, will you?
DJ, let's stop.
You admit that
DJ,
Donald Trump has the power. You won't admit that.
DJ, you just admitted he doesn't.
Joe Biden, George Bush,
DJ,
Bill Clinton,
DJ,
yeah. Go ahead.
Would you say I'm pretty good at listening? I'm going to ask you the same questions. Would you say I'm pretty good at listening?
You have your moments.
Okay. Now, we just agreed that it is a war, right?
You want to use...
No. We just agreed, DJ. I need you to listen to yourself.
Apologize and say, yes, you are right, that the USA did participate in
a war. You just admitted that, right?
Based on what Donald Trump said, yes.
Okay. And you also admitted that he does not have the power to declare war, right?
Yes, he does not. You're
okay, so if the United States just participated in a war because Donald Trump did what he did, and you know that he didn't get Congress's approval, then that means he didn't have the right to do it, right?
The rule is that Donald Trump doesn't have the right to... Donald, are you going to let me finish this, or are you going to keep interrupting?
Just use the idea that as the president...
30 seconds of common decency, and let me finish what I'm going to say without interrupting. Okay. The point that you're making was that because Iran and Israel was declared a war by Donald Trump, and we participated, that Donald Trump initiated a war. Is that correct? Is that what you're saying?
Correct. He didn't have congressional approval to do it.
But Donald Trump does not need congressional approval to make military strikes.
This
Would
wasn't
you
a military
agree with that?
strike.
Yes
This
or
wasn't.
no. Yes or no?
And if it was a military strike, I would say, you know what? That's in his powers. But what we acknowledge, DJ, right, is it was a war, and it came out of his. It came out of his mouth.
You're trying to make the claim that Donald Trump started a war.
Yes.
Is that what you're saying?
Yes, he did. He was
No,
in the
he did not.
12-day war.
He made a military strike.
Okay, in a war.
Seriously, you're
Who else could commit the
going
United
all
States
the
to
way
doing that?
around just so that you
DJ.
don't-
Who else
No,
could
no, no, you're
DJ? Who
using
else could
this
commit?
word- Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Who else is responsible for that military strike
Who else was responsible?
besides
for the
Trump? Besides Trump, he's
Trump
the one
makes
that.
decision, my friend.
So it's him. Yeah, he did. He authorized a military strike in a war. That's not a difficult thing for me to understand.
all right.
And so DJ,
Did Joe Biden initiate any military strikes?
W Zeus, I won. I won because the moment you brought up Joe Biden, it's over. I just
What
needed
about
you.
Bill Clinton?
Okay,
What about
okay,
Barack
all right. Well,
Obama?
listen up, DJ. I think
Did
I'll
any
take
of
your
those
apology.
presidents authorize military strikes? Yes or no?
They may have. I know. I could think of
They
a
may
few
have.
examples.
So you're
Yeah.
not even, Zeus,
Yeah,
you know what?
but
It's a
DJ,
two-way-
we're not talking
debate
about
is
them.
a two-way street, and you know, you guys, you talk about how you'd like to deliver the truth, but you will not admit the truth. The
DJ.
truth is that Donald Trump didn't do anything different than Biden or Clinton or Obama. He didn't do anything any different.
Okay. All right.
But
Well,
because
here's
it was from Donald Trump, you cannot acknowledge it at all. Is that right?
wrong. If Joe Biden were to actually just randomly go and use these B-52s, whatever, to go do something like this, I promise you, we would have had tough conversations, DJ, and it wouldn't have been difficult. It wouldn't have been difficult. And DJ, hold on. You asked me a question. And I'll give you an example. When Biden found out that Russia was amassing its troops on the eastern border of Ukraine, he practiced de-escalation, right? Which is why he didn't just turn around and start sending a bunch of American soldiers and doing all of this crazy stuff, because his intent was always to de-escalate and to keep our children, our men and women in uniform out of conflict. All right. So while you all like to sit up here and bring up Joe Biden and say he did this and that, you're ignoring the reality that this man kept a steady hand. All right. Now, what we're dealing with right now is a month ago, no one had any clue that we would possibly need to do this strike. No one thought this was on the horizons. We're 6 months in, and he's already talking about nuclear war inward. This is crazy. So please, DJ, do not compare anything Donald Trump is doing to Joe Biden or Barack Obama. There's never ever any comparison. Okay, there's never any comparison.
Admit it that it's the same thing.
No, it's not, DJ.
You talk about we like to sniff Trump stiper. You like to use that phrase a lot. So
DJ,
that's the same
DJ.
thing that you're doing with Biden and Obama.
DJ,
So,
I'm going to say this to you because I really understand where you're at cognitively. All right, you're ignoring the people. That Joe Biden has a completely different character than Donald Trump. When you say,
no doubt about that, brother.
Okay, so you can't say they're doing the same thing because the reason and the intent matter. And what is Donald Trump? What was his reason for doing this? What was his reason for getting us into this conflict?
Do you remember when Donald Trump said that
He didn't answer my question.
I'm trying to answer your question, but once again, you're going to choose to interrupt me instead of allowing me to finish. So how many days ago did Donald Trump tell Iran, you've got blank number of days to do something, to finish,
Let me
60 days, 60 days, Zeus. He told him, you got
Okay.
60 days and he tried very hard to be diplomatic with Iran. He tried.
Let me ask you this, DJ.
Now, I want to say one other thing very, very quickly. I did not agree with the bomb strikes. I did not agree with it at all. I don't think that he should have done it, but he did it. Okay. So your statement was that he didn't have the right to do that. And he does have the right to do that.
I'm not going to get into that, DJ.
Okay.
DJ, I'm not going to get into that. I'm glad you acknowledged that you didn't like it. But the reason I'm not going to get into it, and it's simple logic. If you understand the president cannot declare war, then you understand Donald Trump as the president can't declare war on Iran. It's simple, right?
Agreed.
And if you also understand Donald Trump called it a 12-day war, then it is a war, right?
Oh, so now whatever Donald Trump says is the gospel.
That's how they ended up catching
Is that
him.
what you're saying to me, that he's the gospel?
The words of a president matter, right?
Oh, wow. I'm really
Right,
glad
DJ.
Absolutely.
Okay, because, and what I'll do is this, DJ, if his words don't matter, then the 60 days to negotiate is off the table because all of his negotiations are done on his social media platform.
Because he called the conflict between Iran and Israel a 12-day war. Just like, Donald Trump's trying to be cute and he's trying to make something,
DJ, I think it's simpler than that. And again,
it is extremely simple.
Here's
an
example.
Right. You wanted me to admit that
it is a war.
That he didn't have.
I want you to understand. No, it's not just admitting it because your mouth could say anything. I need you to understand it is a war because he called it that.
Okay.
You get it?
I don't agree with you, but I'm not going to argue with you.
But you agree it's a war because he called it that. See, it's one thing if I say it, DJ. It's one thing.
Semantics, and if that works for you, that's perfectly fine.
DJ,
that's all you got, Zeus. You know that you are standing on a dying hill. You know that he had the right to do that, and you decided that what,
DJ.
I say he called it a war, so that means that he declared war. So he didn't do what he's supposed to do. And if you want to stand on that hill, that's okay, man. It's your show. You got the right to do that. But DJ, you know down deep inside you that he had the right to make that military strike because he didn't set the precedent. Mm-hmm. He wasn't the first one to ever do that. If you want to go through
DJ, here's my thing, and this is why I hate it, and I really do hate it when folks like you start saying Joe Biden. Isn't Donald Trump supposed to be better than Joe Biden and Barack Obama?
We don't have to say Joe Biden if you don't want to.
Isn't he supposed to?
Okay. We can say Obama. We can say
it's a Democrat. My point is
Jimmy Carter.
My point is
president you want to use.
My point is you all like to say it's a Democrat did it. That's justification.
No,
well then, doggone it, why didn't you vote for a Democrat? That's my only point, DJ.
As well, Zeus.
DJ.
Not just Democrats.
DJ. So what I'll do is this, DJ, because part of me knows that you're just being difficult, and I understand that a hard head makes for a soft behind. A hard head makes for a soft behind. But DJ, you're wrong, and this is what's going on in America right now. Instead of us,
what am I wrong about, Zeus?
Because you would lie to your.
We're clear.
Okay, you are sitting up here, really defending something that should already be understood, and it has nothing to do with politics. He referred to it. If you look at this. And we were in the courtroom because this is why I said the words of a president matter. His statements will be used in courts in various court cases. That's how he ended up getting convicted. So if you understand that, there's really nothing to argue about. If he posts on
statement, Zeus?
Yesterday, if he posts on his platform,
when did he make the attack?
DJ, can you just listen?
Mm-hmm.
If he makes a statement as the president of the United States, that's as good as gold.
I'm going to remember you said that.
Right? Whether he's telling the truth or not, it's as good as gold. It came from the president.
Preface. I'm glad you prefaced that. Okay, good. That's a way to back it up. That's good.
Right? So he released a statement as the president saying it's a 12-day war. Period. You also acknowledged presidents can't declare war. He just cooked himself. And this is the point, DJ, I've been trying to help you and the rest of your people that support Trump understand. It's never because the Democrats did this and that he gets into trouble. He's his own worst enemy. He tells on himself all the time, bro. And this is why okay, so when you have somebody that constantly tells on themselves and exposes who they are, then you can't make it a political issue. It's really a local issue. It's something he himself is doing. This has nothing to do with me. It's just now, why are you having a hard time accepting that this is what's happening? I shouldn't have had to argue with you, DJ, for 30 minutes. I shouldn't have had to argue with you for 30 minutes, bro, for you to come to this same conclusion. If we were in a courtroom, he's guilty. W. Zeus. All right.
Listen, the difference between you and me is I don't have any issues admitting that my leader or the fellow that I support has issues. I don't have any issues saying that.
Yes, you do.
If someone that you support, if I think that they're doing something good, I don't have any issues saying that, Zeus. You've stuck yourself on a hill so high,
okay,
that you can't do you leave yourself no room to budge whatsoever.
No, actually, that's DJ.
Hey, man,
You can only
that's
speak
your
for
deal.
yourself. You can only speak for yourself. I can speak for myself. If Joe Biden or Vice President Kamala Harris were doing anything like this, there would definitely be difficult conversations. I just don't think you understand how far out of touch you have became by supporting this person. There's nothing on the earth that is equivalent to what we're dealing with right now. We have the most incompetent, unqualified administration right now running the country. And there's multiple ways that you could look at it, whether I'm talking about Trump, whether I'm talking about his cabinet picks, right? Scott Bessent, Pete Kegsbreath, I call him Kegsbreath, Tulsi Gabbard. These people, they're compromised at the highest level. They only care about being loyal to Donald Trump, and they're not caring about delivering on any of the things he promised folks like you. You should be more upset than me, DJ, because like I told Dane yesterday, where's the no tax on overtime? Where's the no tax on tips? 32-hour work weeks. Where are all those things he promised all of you? They're not here, DJ. They're not here, DJ. I don't even want to hear it. They're not here. And you mean to tell me he couldn't assign any?
What's not here?
Where's the no tax on tips?
It's currently in Congress.
Okay, so he had enough time to go drop a B on Iran. DJ, can I just stick to what I'm saying? Because this is very important. This is very important. He had enough time to go get us involved in another war, but he couldn't assign an executive order that could have lowered our grocery prices, kept the gas prices in check, all right? Capped credit card interest at 10%, right? Okay. What else? No tax on tips, 32-hour work week. All these things he promised all of you. And we heard him promise it, DJ. I wasn't done.
Just let me know.
I wasn't done. I will. And again, it's not me reading a thing off of a computer. This is things that I remembered that he said. All right. So all of those things that he promised you, he said he was going to get rid of 20 million people in this country that were in here illegally. He hasn't cracked anywhere near that number. He's supposed to be deporting over 400,000. He's supposed to be deporting over 400,000 or so people. He's running up our national debt. DJ, you told me to tell you when I'm done. He's running up our national debt, sending Marines to places they don't need to be, commandeering our National Guard. He's talking about buying Greenland and all these other things. But you mean to tell me he couldn't sit down and find a moment in his life to write an executive order to address any of the things he's promised you, but he has enough time to get into a conflict, a war? DJ, this is why I do what I do, bro. I don't got time to, this is to me stuff that's non-debatable. It is what it is, and the numbers and the facts aren't in your favor, but yet you'll get up here on TikTok and try to excuse all of these failures as though they're somehow victories. They're not victories. Now I'm done.
Okay. No tax on tips. Does the president have the authority to write an executive order to change the tax structure?
No.
Thank you.
But listen. Thank you. 96% of his executive order. Listen, DJ. 96% of his executive orders are getting struck down. It's the intent. He could have at least tried.
Okay, so let me make sure I understand. So you fuss and complain when he makes executive orders that should go in front of Congress. When he doesn't do it, make an executive order in front of Congress, you're going to fault that against him too. Is that right?
No.
So he's going to lose.
You asked me, was it right? I said no, DJ. You asked me, was it right, DJ? You asked me, was it right? And I said no. So try again. Try to understand what I'm saying a little bit better.
Wow, you are very good at that, Zeus. You're very good at double talking. Okay, you're very, very good at that. And it's impressive. It really is. But the bottom line is that you bring me up here and you like for the guys in the chat, they're gonna tear me down and do all that, and that's okay, good, okay. But I stand up here with you guys. I don't run. I don't, we most of the time it's a pretty civil argument about it. But the point is that if I see a situation that I don't agree with, even if Donald Trump does it, I'll come in this room and admit it. If I disagree with what you're saying, I'm going to stand up here and tell you what I believe in. And if the only thing that you have is, you know what, DJ, you have misinformation or you're telling a lie. And that's it. It can't be any other thing. It can't be that I'm right and you're wrong. That's impossible. Would you agree with that, Zeus?
What? You see what I did, right? I mean, DJ.
Yeah, I saw exactly what you did. And that's
DJ,
okay.
DJ.
That's
Here's the
okay.
thing, DJ.
Uh-huh.
It's very, very simple what I'm trying to say, and I don't think you get it. And if you do get it, then you're being extremely difficult. And I don't know what you gain out of being extremely difficult. My point was simple. The stuff he promised you all that he ran on Liberation Day, even the trade deals, none of it is actually materialized. But
You said the tariff
but
deals aren't
DJ,
materializing?
huh?
Are you saying the tariff deals aren't materializing, Zeus?
Correct. 90 deals, 90 days, 200 countries, whatever that means. They're not materializing. There's no ceasefire. There's no ceasefire in Russia and Ukraine. This guy had all the time in the world to do these things. He can go to the NASCAR events. He can go to, UFC fights, right? He can go do rallies. He can go golfing. But he can't bring himself to sit behind that Oval Office and sign any of these executive orders that at least would have showed he tried to help you. And this is the issue. Why do you continue to think it's excusable to allow a president you voted for to do that? I would be like Biden. He did the student loan debt. The Supreme Court, they slapped him around. Some folks got their debt forgiven. I'm like, okay, great. But he didn't stop trying to figure out a way. So that tells me at least Biden, as bad as y'all like to say he understood he had to live up to these promises. For some strange reason, and he knew that we were going to hold him accountable for it too. For some strange reason, Trump could break every single one of his promises to all of you and get this country in the verge of a nuclear war, and you all won't dial it back and say, all right, enough is enough.
Okay.
And you'll make up an excuse after. I mean, and these excuses, they do require a lot of folks to go deep into these situations with you that we really shouldn't have to go this deep with you if you were genuinely a good person.
Are you finished?
I am finished.
Okay. So how many of the Trump executive orders do you disagree with?
But,
do you remember Doge? Do you remember Doge and those executive orders? Do you remember those?
yeah.
Trying to cut government waste, fraud, and abuse. Do you remember those?
Yeah.
Okay. And how many of those got stopped by the court system?
I don't have the number right off my head,
Okay.
but how
So,
many?
and
how many,
would you agree that
how
Trump
many,
ran on
DJ?
that?
DJ, how many?
Oh, I don't know the exact number either.
So
I
you're
think
asking me a
would.
question you don't even know the answer to. That's
Would you
crazy.
say that the Trumps that the courts tried to interfere with Doge? Would you say that?
No. But DJ, I don't even get where you're. What?
No
I guess
interest
just
being
get to the
intellectually
point.
Honest at all.
Just get to the point.
interest whatsoever.
Just get
My
to the point.
is that Donald Trump signed a lot of executive orders that you guys all fussed about. That he's going against the Constitution. He doesn't have the right to do that. So when he doesn't write an executive order, now he's just lazy and a liar. It doesn't matter. Zeus, you guys are actually standing up here. Now, I don't know about you personally, okay? But I've been into lives where they actually defend Iran. They are taking Iran's side on this. And I'm thinking,
But DJ,
how much do you have to suffer from TDS to where you are going to side with a known terrorist organization supporter, as in Iran, over the United States of America? I mean, how much TDS do you have to suffer from?
Okay, and so DJ, here's the thing. While you're over there getting triggered because somebody doesn't want us to get into a conflict, that's cool, but you're...
that's all it is. They don't want to get in a conflict. Okay.
Or war. Let me use the word war. We don't want the United States in a war. While you're getting triggered about somebody possibly having TDS, I'm literally asking you to show that you have some backbone. All right? And acknowledge...
I show it every time.
No, because you didn't even listen to me finish. And acknowledge that your dear leader hasn't delivered a thing to you. He has not done it. And you can get as mad as the Democrats as you want to. But to me, outside looking in, you're really not mad at the people who you say have TDS. You're mad that your dear leader has y'all out here looking crazy. Because at least if he did what he said he was going to do, we wouldn't be able to talk about you like we do.
Dude, he's making every attempt to do what he campaigned on, and you know that that's true.
No, DJ.
And you're going to fight him at every single turn that you can.
DJ. That's a lie. If he was
How is
making,
that a lie?
if he was making every attempt, I would see executive orders for no tax on tips. I would see executive orders for no tax.
Person that said that he doesn't
DJ.
have the right to do those executive orders.
DJ.
Which is it, Zeus?
DJ. Let me say what I need to. Let me say it again, DJ. He doesn't have the right, but he could at least try. And he's not even trying. He's not even trying, right? He has time for everything else, DJ. DJ, what did I just say? Because this is a listening exercise now. What did I just say?
I'm waiting.
No, you didn't hear what I said? He's not even trying.
You said he's not even trying, and that's not true.
So did he try to write an executive order for no tax on tips?
He doesn't. The president of the United States.
Where's the $5,000 Doge? You brought Doge up. Where's the $5,000 Doge checks, DJ?
I don't ever remember anybody getting promised a $5,000 Doge check.
And that's the best defense you can have. Plausible deniability or just flat out denial. But here's the thing, DJ. I remember, a lot of us remember him and Elon talking about all the government waste, fraud, and abuse they cut was going to help get Americans some money in their pocket. And it never happened, DJ. And you should just.
It's going to happen. As soon as you guys stop crying about all the, oh my gosh, he's cutting this money and he's cutting that money. He can't do that. He doesn't have the right to do that with his executive orders. Well, he's trying to do what he said. Do you know how many EOs he's written? Do you know how many EOs he's written?
You told me you didn't know. So, DJ, here's what I'm going to do.
It's 165.
Okay. Glad you looked it up. Here's what we're going to do, DJ. And how many of those were tied to no tax, no tips, no tax on overtime, capping credit card interest at 10?
I have to say the same thing.
Just say zero.
He doesn't have.
Just say zero. DJ.
The number's zero because the president can't change the
So he's 0 for 165. Any other profession, a person was putting up numbers like that. DJ. You said how many executive orders? 165.
That's how many he's written.
Okay, and none of them for the stuff he promised you all, right? So here's what I'm going to say. But guess what?
No,
he got rid of the penny, all right, right? That's something he promised y'all. Y'all were so happy about that, or the straws, right? Here's the thing, DJ.
That's called a pivot.
DJ. Any other profession, you're 0 for 165. You know what they would do to you?
How do you figure that he's 0 for 165?
None of the promises he's made to you. Any other profession, DJ, that would get you taken out back and taken to the woodshed. So, DJ, I gotta move it on, bro. This is exhausting. Letting off on my. This is exhausting. But here's the thing, DJ. You did a good job trying. Because it's you what?
Because I can absolutely back up what I'm saying.
All right, DJ. Whew. All right. Well, listen. Okay. Well, I'm done, and I do hope you meditate on this discussion because
on telling the truth.
Oh no, you're not telling,
or at least being able to admit when you're wrong. Is that the same thing as telling the truth? Hey, can I ask you one question before I go?
Go.
If the no tax on tips makes it through Congress, are you going to stand up here and applaud it?
Oh, I might actually do that, yeah, but I know it'll never happen. So, in the meantime, DJ, do me a huge favor. What a great conversation. I got to move it on, ladies and gentlemen. That's a Trump supporter DJ trying his hardest to defend the indefensible. And another example of why MAGA, they're the worst of the worst and the scum of the earth, if you ask me. DJ, once again, do better. But in the meantime, do us all a huge favor and go straight to hell. And that's why I refer to DJ as Scott Jennings. You all see Scott Jennings on CNN. I do watch CNN. I do watch Fox News, and I do watch MSNBC. It's not because I love those programs, but it's because I got to understand the angles. You got to study the game to be able to navigate these spaces, right? And I knew what DJ was trying to do, but DJ, make sure you understand one thing about yourself. And this is something Donald Trump wanted me to say to you.
You're either stupid or you hate the country.
And a lot of us think it's both. Yeah, all of these mainstream media news outlets, they all get out there and they got a narrative to sell, all right? And I get it. And the fact that DJ just wouldn't come up here and acknowledge that Donald Trump is 0 for 165 in terms of those campaign promises is alarming. And you're okay with someone being 0 for 165 committing us into a forever war? That's wild. I mean, you just can't make this stuff up, ladies and gentlemen. You really can't. Oh my goodness. Let me bring up my next panelist. Oh my goodness. Good morning, Erica. Good morning. Welcome to the show. How are you?
I am doing well. How are you, Zeus?
I'm doing pretty good.
How is the sound?
You're doing good. I can hear you very clear. Yeah.
Okay, just making sure. It sounds weird in my ear, but it's cool. I can take it.
Maybe it's me.
Okay. Oh no, I just wanted to come up. Oh, it's really weird. But
hey, we got the camera on. Woo, woo.
I've been up all night long because I'm in the process of moving. So like I'm washing like all of the clothes now. It's a lot of work.
Nice, nice.
But anywho, Scott, is it Scott? Scott Jennings, you call him? Okay.
Yeah, Scott. I call him Scott. He is?
My gosh, that man, I think he needs to seek some help because it's like there's no line that could be drawn in the sand for him. He'll defend Donald Trump to no end.
Yeah.
And that's not the signs of a healthy person.
No.
Not at all. Like he's really not oh my gosh. But no, did you hear yesterday that the Supreme Court actually gave permission to Donald Trump to deport people to third party countries?
Yeah. What are your thoughts on it? Please speak on it.
I don't like it. I don't like it at all. It's very scary, especially the countries that he's considering deporting people to, Sudan and also Libya. Libya has a active slave trade going on. And also the Sudan has South Sudan has a active genocide happening right now. And so many people are going to be harmed by this because the argument that Trump supporters are making is that, well, it hasn't happened yet, but it has happened. A few months ago, he tried to send Vietnamese immigrants to South Sudan.
What?
And the court told him,
Wow.
The lower court put an injunction. That's what they were fighting.
Wow.
And then the Supreme Court has ruled on it, and they're allowing it.
Wow. So you see that basically they're allowing Trump to treat people in an inhumane way.
Yes. Exactly. Absolutely inhumane. And the caveat that they're putting on it is that they're saying that the person has to be convicted of a crime. Yet we've seen Donald Trump lie time and time again that they're only going after criminals. Yet everyday people who are working, taking care of their families, no criminal records, have been deported and sent to CCOT, which is basically a C camp. I'm trying to keep it TikTok friendly for you guys.
Yeah, you're doing it right. You're doing it right. So awesome. Do you find that they somehow think this is a victory? The MAGA do they think it's a victory that we're treating human beings like this?
Yeah, because they're just like, get rid of them all. It's cruelty. It's the lack of humanity. It's the lack of empathy. It's just all around. It's like, how cruel can we be? Like, the crueler Donald Trump is, the more they celebrate. Wow. It's scary. It's scary because I don't understand how people could be this way. It just doesn't make any sense to me.
Well, so what I'm looking for is, because I often want to find folks out there who believe that it's okay to deport people to countries they've never been in. Is there anybody out there, honestly, that think this is an okay thing to do? Because I just want to test them, see how they got to such a dark place. Because what these folks don't often understand is that they themselves could be in that particular situation.
Exactly. It's a lot of people out there who voted for this, who are naturalized citizens with the right to vote, and they legit voted for other people to not be able to have the same success, the same joy, the same opportunities as them.
Yeah.
Which when I don't understand something, I'll literally just say it doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah.
It doesn't. I
Yeah.
don't think you ever can make it make sense. I was talking to my cousin. He's back home in Virginia, and he said that a family out there, the mom and dad have been deported. They've been in the States for 30 years. They had a business. They were taking care of their grandkids, and yeah.
Were they Trump voters? Because here's my thing: if
They
you
weren't.
were
No. They
okay,
weren't Trump voters.
oh, okay,
No,
then
no.
I can't. Then
They
I
were
can't.
just
I can't
no.
smile. Okay.
No, you can't. No, Zeus, no.
Yeah, because what I do is if they're Trump voters and they get this, then I smile because I understand there has to be some sort of consequence
Yeah.
for doing the unimaginable, right? Because
Yeah.
when you think about it, Erica, isn't it crazy that somebody in America, and not just somebody, a lot of people, they went into that voting booth, right? They go into the voting booth and they see Vice President Kamala Harris and then they see Donald Trump and they actually checked off Donald Trump.
They checked off Trump is absolutely that's crazy work. That's wicked work. And like I like to play around sometimes and like pretend to be black because know thy enemy.
Yeah.
And it always baffles me when they say family values. They voted for him for family values. No, you didn't. That's a lie that you have to tell yourself to make you feel better about the awful decision that you made, because that man exhibits no types of family values. He has committed adultery on all three of his wives.
Speak on it. Erica, speak on it.
27 accusations of SA and harassment. You know, being civilly adjudicated for essaying a woman. E. Jean Carroll. It's just, come on. Like, how do we, like the things he said about his daughter, I don't have to go over them. Y'all already know him. Like, this man just at every single turn to me, I don't know how he did it, but I mean, I think the one thing he could teach the dudes is a class on how to fail upwards. He knows how to fail upwards because he's just so bad.
Yeah.
He's so bad at everything. But some way, somehow, here he is, the most powerful man in the world.
I mean, and again, between what Elon did and the delusion that his supporters are under, that's the only reason he ended up getting to this point. Yeah. You know, but yeah, you brought up family values, and the chat did bring up something, the E files, the Epstein files. Does that sound like a family man to you?
Absolutely not.
Nope.
No.
No.
God, no.
Yeah, there you go. So he's not a family values MAGA, and honestly, Blagga, because I know Blagga says that a lot. Y'all got to hang that up. That's not true. Donald Trump is the opposite of family values. All right,
exactly.
It's demon values, if you really want to get straight to the point. Demonic evil values is what he's selling.
Send them straight to the lake of fire.
Bingo,
my gosh.
Bingo, W. Erica. Well, listen. Good luck on the move, all right? I love knowing your folks are out there taking care of themselves and doing great, ladies and gentlemen. Please follow my... Yes.
I'm about to say, can I do some begging really quick? It's not for money, it's for followers. Because I'm trying to beat Santana.
Well, you never have to beg. You never have to beg. That's what MAGA does. But you go ahead, do what you need to do.
Okay. All right, guys. So here's the deal, right? Y'all know that Santana's page, his original page, got like fruited, so it's gone. So he's rebuilding his platform. All right, and like he has about like 7,000 less followers than I have, and he's like on the move really fast because y'all know how he works, right? The man has a work ethic that's like only seconds his deuces, all right? So with that being said, all right, I want to keep beating him. So if you're not following me, please follow me. I would greatly appreciate it. And I would just thank you so much. You probably will never, ever see me because I don't post content a lot. I do go live. But please, I would appreciate your follow. And I just thank you so very much.
Wow. Thank you, Erica. That is so awesome. Look at all these people saying that they followed you. Wow, W. Erica. Santana, you're in trouble. You're in trouble, bro. All right.
Thank you, Zeus.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Have a great day, everyone.
All right, you too. Oh my goodness, ladies and gentlemen, W. Erica, no lies detected. Bringing up my good friend, brother Attacking. Welcome. Right away. Good morning, Attacking.
Morning.
Yes. Good morning. How are you? Scorpion.
Weird. It's. DJ, you had so many things that you could have just hammered him as soon as he opened his mouth. with
Well, go ahead. He's listening.
With Doge and the court system. The court system were stopping Doge from doing things illegal, DJ. They weren't interfering in the process. See, they were doing things illegally. Donald Trump, we wouldn't be here today, DJ, if Donald Trump didn't pull out of the JCPOA. Something that was working that you probably don't know about. Donald Trump, if he didn't throw the pandemic playbook that Obama handed him, C-19 would have probably been handled better. So when you open your mouth and you say things and you don't think about the bounce back of your comments, or like with when you made the comment about all of a sudden people are supporting Iran. I'm sorry, Trump lovers are supporting Russia over Ukraine. So when you make comments, make sure they don't bounce back. Unlike Zeus, who's got multiple things on his mind as he's talking to somebody like you, I can pay attention to more of what you're saying. Zeus has a platform and he wants to get certain things out there. So he might not hear what you're saying because he's concentrated on
or don't care. It's not so much attacking. I honestly am at a point sometimes where I just don't care. But you did a good job. You're doing a great job. Keep on going attacking, please.
Now the thing is this. We have fake Russian bear Christians on this app that support the fact that a father of 3 American servicemen, the father was beat by the ISIS.
You mean ICE?
ICE, yes. I said ISIS, yeah. ICE.
Yeah, you did, but I get what you meant because we got to get these. Yeah.
So they approve of him being beat. They also, I made a comment about why are ICE having to have suppressors / silencers on their pew-pews. You don't need a silencer or a suppressor unless you're trying to do something to where you're not caught or your position isn't given if you're going to have a battle with somebody else who has a pew-pew. There's no reason for any ICE agent to have a silencer on their pew-pew unless they're looking to do something inappropriately because they're not a real ICE agent. They're a white supremacist that has been hired to partake in this, somebody that Donald Trump pardoned from the January 6th, and now they're rounding up people who will act like ICE agents. That's why they point their pew-pews at people taking pictures of their license plates. See, a real ICE agent wouldn't pull their pew-pew on somebody to get them away from their license plate. So when you fake Christians, fake Trump supporters who approve of his abuse, and by the way, Donald Trump, he's crying because he's, oh, I got a picture. Hold on here. Hold on.
Go ahead.
I got some.
Thank you, because you always have something in the big box.
Yeah. Donald Trump, is it on this phone? Oh, it's not on this phone. Oh, you luckies. Lucky people. Lucky people. I don't have it on this phone. The thing is this. Donald Trump wants a Pulitzer surprise.
A Nobel Peace Prize.
Nobel Peace Prize. And the thing is this, it's being ruined by ISIS. ICE. Not ISIS.
You love you some ISIS, huh?
I do. I have.
You been watching a lot of ISIS videos?
I got a whole bunch of ICE on my mind. The thing is this, Iran and Israel blew his Nobel Peace Prize.
You think so?
Oh yeah. See, that's why he was pushing so hard about the ceasefire. Now, if you heard him as you played,
no, MAGA Queen, he's right. MAGA Queen, zip it.
As you played his comments, they don't know what the F they're doing. He's trying to tell them what to do. See, again, if Donald Trump would have minded his own darn business and left the JCPOA, which our own nuclear physicists and the other investigators from the other countries said that they were following policy, we may not be here today with Iran and what Donald Trump did. But see, you guys don't want to connect the dots. It's kind of like when Donald Trump lied about the 2020 election. January 6th happened. Like Zeus says, we're not going to forget that.
Nope.
Because that's going to go down in history as a sitting president trying to use violence to stay in as president that you guys want to ignore. And arresting American citizens who are brown. You guys are okay with ICE going to businesses, not with a warrant looking for Juan Valdez or anybody specifically. They're going in looking for brown people who look like they're illegal.
What if ICE had a warrant that said we're looking for DJ, we're looking for a conservative Democrat? Would they then care, perhaps? Because that's what it's going to take. We're looking for Tiny Tank Top Tim Tom.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Show the warrant. Say I'm looking for so and so, and then leave the other people alone. Because see, if you're going after a criminal, you should have a warrant for that criminal. Not just I have a warrant. I'm coming in here trying to take anybody who's brown who looks like an illegal immigrant, and then you have an American citizen. Are you guys okay with beating up American citizens? Really? I mean, seriously.
They are.
If so, we know some people who are Hispanic on this app. Maybe we should send ICE to them. You never know.
You see, I mean, and this is why I tell people this, and they think it's a joke when I say it. Same thing make you laugh and make you cry. This is a good example. Same thing make you laugh, it'll make you cry. And look at it, you got Asler out there. He thinks this is a joke.
Yeah. And by the way, what's going to happen is this. The Second Amendment people are going to take up arms in regards to this if it goes too far. And then somebody's going to be unalived who's an ICE agent, and it's going to be a fraudulent one. And then when the information comes out of that person who's unalived, comes out that he's not a real ICE agent, that he's a white supremacist from 3%ers or Oath Keepers or so whatever group, then there's going to be more of an uproar because that's exactly what Tom Holman and Donald Trump put into this group to take brown people out of here because he wants to beat Barack Obama's 5 million deportations. We didn't have this type of stuff going on under Obama. We didn't have these attacks. We didn't have all these people videotaping the beating of American citizens, women with children taken across the border, sent to El Salvador who don't have a police record. You don't have any legal asylum seekers being taken out of America under Obama. But you do here under Trump as they're waiting at the courts before they go in and after they come out.
Wow.
Your act straight, people.
Yeah.
You want to say you're a Christian? Start acting like one. You want to say you're an American citizen? Start acting like one. You want to say you're a patriot? As Donald Trump degrades our military?
He does.
Spits on our military, ignores 4 fallen soldiers his first 150 days. 4 unalived soldiers come back.
And he ignored them?
And he went and played golf, Zeus. He went to meet with the people that put together the Live Golf Tournament at his resort. He went to have dinner with them instead of receiving the 4 unalived soldiers. Within his first 150 days, he did that, Zeus. He ignored and spit in our soldiers' face, and yet he's for our military. He is. He's for America. He's for America because he knows that if he keeps pandering to 77 million people, you're going to keep putting money in his pocket, buying his Bitcoin behind closed doors. What happened to the Emoluments Clause? What happened to all these constitutional issues that you guys say that you support the Constitution and the rule of law, except for Donald Trump? You want everybody else thrown in jail. You want everybody else thrown in jail without due process or without a court hearing or anything. You want Biden arrested, Hunter Biden, Hillary Clinton, Barack Obama for wearing a tan suit, Michelle Obama for showing her shoulders. You want all these people arrested without a court. You just want them throwing them in Gitmo because Donald Trump says so. That's all you guys have.
Sick. This is some sick stuff.
And you can't come up. You cannot come up in Zeus's broadcast and just run your mouth. You have to listen. Have some proper decorum. You talk, he talks. You talk, he talks. He asks a question, you answer it. You ask a question, Zeus will answer it. Instead of running your mouth like that lady, Sarah, who wouldn't listen to you, she just kept on blah, 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 just like DJ did.
It's hard. It's hard for them.
What you guys do is run your mouth. You don't listen. You don't pause. And you don't pay attention. See, I pay attention to what people say. Again, Zeus is more busy, or like he says, sometimes he just doesn't pay attention because it's stupid what you're saying. But he's got more things on his plate than I do. As I'm listening from here, seeing, well, goddamn, I would have just used that against you. DJ, your comments are ridiculous. And instead of going on a freaking 300-page dissertation when you make a comment, make it short, make it shorthand, just make it precise instead of keep on, chapter 2 to my comment, chapter 3 to my comment. What the hell? All right, guys, I'm going to drop.
W attacking. No lies detected. And it was all truth. I mean, that's what we need. Now, Katie, did you all see this comment that Katie just put into the chat? This lady in my chat, Katie, she just said something. Let me see if I could find this, because I normally don't want to address it. But Katie, if you don't mind, please come on up here and say what you just said in the comment section. Let me go find what this Katie individual, and maybe it's a Russian bot. But let me see if I can't even find it now. I'm so sorry. I can't even find it. Okay. I think I'm getting closer to finding it. Okay. What did she say? Oh, Zeus. There it is right there. Thank you to the mods. W mods. I gotta address this. Zeus won't shut up half of the time. Katie, do you want me to just let it you want me to just hit play over here, Katie? Because most of my show, Katie, in case you haven't figured it out, it's really your dear leader, right? I mean, we got
the stock market.
I could just do this, Katie.
Only up because they think I'm going to win, and if we don't win, according to many people,
this, Katie?
Including one of the greatest Wall Street prognosticators, named Scott Bessent. Has anyone heard of him? One of the most brilliant guys on Wall Street.
This is your dear leader, Katie.
If I don't win, you will have a 1929 style depression. Enjoy it. I believe that. Yesterday she got up, she started ranting and raving that Donald Trump wants to put a tax on gasoline, a tax on food, a tax on medication, a tax on clothing, a tax on every single thing that was ever invented. Your hat he's going to tax. Your shirt he's going to tax. He's going to tax your wife. He's going to tax your husband. And I'm saying, I never said any of that. She made 26 different things that were lies. She lied. But that's okay, because a lot of people lie. They'll do anything to get elected. But did you see Barack Hussein Obama last night? Take little shots. He was taking shots at your president. Did you see Barack Hussein Obama last night? Take little shots. He was taking shots at your president. And so was Michelle. You know, they always say, sir, please stick to policy. Don't get personal. And yet they're getting personal all night long, these people. Do I still have to stick to policy? Sir, you must stick to policy. You'll win it on the border. You'll win it with inflation. You'll win it with your great military that you built that they gave away $85 billion worth.
Trump himself never served in
Now, getting back to dating, right? And when you got to say to a woman, hey, listen, you got to go to my personal doctor, and I'm going to have you checked out. Is that a tough thing to say to a woman, or you just got the balls to say it?
You know, I'll tell you, it's amazing. I can't even believe it. I've been so lucky,
right,
in terms of that whole world.
You've never gotten a social disease.
It is a dangerous world out there. It's scary. It's like Vietnam, sort of like, you know, the Vietnam era.
It is your personal Vietnam, isn't it?
It is my personal
It is. You've said that many times.
Like a great and very brave soldier.
A lot of guys who went through Vietnam came out on unscathed. A lot of guys who've gone through the 80s having sex with different women came out with AIDS and all kinds of things.
They survived Vietnam.
This is better than Vietnam, but it's
a little better. But every vagina is a landmine. Haven't we both said that in private?
A potential.
A potential landmine.
I think it is.
That's right. So
there's some real danger there.
When you go to a bar,
so that's Donald Trump basically saying his own personal Vietnam was just hooking up with women. Katie, are you still here? Because do you want me to shut up and just kind of let Trump keep telling on himself, or you think I should do what I've been doing? And I think Katie learned her lesson this morning. W Zeus. Hey, Katie, I'm actually more of a role model than your dear leader, so you should be honored that I actually allow you onto my space and let you get a dose of this truth, all right? So what I would hope Katie has learned this morning is it's probably a bad idea to say something as crazy as that. Zeus just talks. Honestly, Katie, you should have known that it's my platform. It's my show. Said she probably didn't learn a thing. Oh my goodness. All right, let me bring up my good friend Buffy. Welcome, Buffy. You see how we do this? Good morning. How are you?
I'm doing good. I wanted to come up and just share my personal thoughts of what's going on right now in regards to the Tucker Carlson interview, Marjorie Taylor Greene. I want everybody to not believe these lies. A broken clock is right twice a day.
Oh.
You understand what I'm saying?
I sure do.
I don't want you or the people who are listening to receive anything that they are saying as if they are trustworthy at this point. That is my number one concern, because I said this after the election. People are going to come back and be like, well, I regret my vote. Or, no, I'm sorry. No, I didn't vote. No, I voted for third party. They're going to be liars. Okay? They're going to lie to you. Do not believe these people.
Amen. Why do you think they're doing it, though? What's going on in the cult, right? I mean, because blood in, blood out, so to speak. So why are they doing this?
I think A, they probably know something we don't know. B, they don't want to go down with the ship. It's all about money and power. And then I would say C is, they just flow with the wind. It's whatever is good at that moment. And tomorrow they may, just go back to just hating all brown people. So